Well, hi there guys. Good morning, good afternoon, or good whatever time, wherever you are in the world watching this. It's been a while. It's great to be back. I haven't gone away. I've just been kind of fairly busy, but I know I've said this before, but I am going to put more effort into trying to getting more frequent videos up. So we're looking. I suppose it's fitting to come back to YouTube land with an exceptionally good knife. I call this the COVID knife. I bought this knife for myself after COVID. But then again, to be fair, if I survived the blackhead, I'd probably buy a knife to celebrate that as well. But anyhow, this is the knife. It's the Fällkniven F1 Pro. Now, I've been wearing this and using it quite a lot. I find it grand as a neck knife. Now, I am using Fällkniven knives since about 1996. I would have got my first Fällkniven F1. That would have been the Swedish survival pilot knife. Now, back in the day, they were originally made in Germany, and they were made in a steel called ATS 34. So that's what my steel was in, and I lost that knife on a deer hunt. I'm going to say around the winter of 00 anyhow, and I replaced that then with a VG, the VG10 version that they do. That was made after the ATS 34 in Japan. But anyhow, this is their latest version of it. It's out a few years now. I just never got round to getting one, and my Fällkniven has been so good I just never replaced it. The original F1. But what's the difference in this? It has a stainless steel bolster. They're using a laminate cobalt steel, which I like an awful lot more than the VG1/10 that they were using. It's far less chippy. If anyone has been using Fällknivens and they felt that they were a bit chippy, you're probably right. This is far less chippy, I have found. I have used this quite extensively over the last few months, and the convex grind is just fantastic. Like, I mean, I know everything is Scandi this and full flat Scandi, but a convex grind is a fantastic grind if you're doing other than wood carving. Like in my thinking, it's much better for hard use battening, in particular cross battening, and if you're doing a lot of game prep where you might be striking bone, the full flat Scandi can take a little bit of an indentation and chip out of it very easily when it meets with bone. Yet the convex is extremely sharp. Like, I mean, this thing is so sharp, you know, you could cut a fart into cubicles and put it into your friend's lunchbox. Okay, it's really good. So I wear it on the neck, plastic sheet. I have a new ferro rod here today, a Hultafors one that I'm going to try out today as well, and I just like it. It's all business, you know. There's no show in this. It's nothing special, but it is special. So we've kind of got wrist thick wood here that we're going to batten through, and I just know this isn't going to pose a problem to it, because this knife it genuinely is a survival knife, you know, and any knife that can handle up to wrist thick in diameter type wood is perfectly suitable as a survival knife, and that's the size that you really want to be practicing with, because in essence it's the knife that you are most likely to have on you in the eventuality of finding yourself in a survival scenario. Look, we've covered this so many times with the proclivity to carry, which is a big thing in what I teach in survival. At the end of the day, your large kukri or your 10-inch heavy bladed knife is really not much good to you if you didn't bring it with you on that day because it was too cumbersome to have. So we learn how to do all the necessary survival tasks with a knife of about palm width across, and really you know, I find no problem carrying this as a neck knife. Neck knife is my preferred carry, for a couple of reasons. One, it shows that I have that kind of direction towards Morse Kahansky, and the other one is I spend a lot of my time now teaching, and when you're teaching you could be demonstrating things so many times in the one day or whatever that your knife is in and out of the sheath, and really you have it in and out much more and you're saving time by having access to that. But there's one other reason why I really do favour a neck carry system, and that is when I have this knife in the sheath, rather than on my hip or on the belt, I'm conscious of it. So if I'm on a hike or whatever, I know it's there. It doesn't bother you, but you are conscious of the fact that it is there. And that is how I actually lost my original Fällkniven F1. I had it on my hip. They came with a nice crossover press stud leather sheet, lovely sheet, good quality sheet. But what I didn't know is pulling a deer out of the bushes and briars, the sheet opened and the knife came out, and I never noticed that till I got back to the Jeep. And that's a common thing. It's very, very common amongst hunters to lose a knife in such a way. So if a hunter can lose a knife in such a way, certainly someone that could find themselves in a survival scenario can. And that's why I favour the neck sheet carry. Now on this sheet, plastic sheet, I have a big lighter just taped to it. I don't use that lighter, that's an emergency lighter, and I have this ferro rod. So we're going to give it a strike and see how it strikes a ferro rod. Now the one thing that I will say, and the only thing that I don't favour this knife over the original F1, the spine, although it has a 90-degree spine, it doesn't have a spine of the same intensity and aggressiveness that the original one does. Now it does strike a ferro rod, but not the way the other one did. So that's something that it's not a huge issue once you know it, but it does not strike a ferro rod the way the original one does, but it does strike a ferro rod. So I would be conscious of that, and I would be inclined to carry a bit of a hacksaw blade maybe taped to this if I was using this as my primary survival stroke bushcraft knife, or I would carry, you know what I always carry is that Sharpie thing. I just think that's such a fantastic ferro rod striker. But yet it does strike, but not in the same way that the original F1, which is really, really good. But that's the only issue I have with the knife. I've done a hell of a lot of stuff with this, and it just comes back for more. It's a great knife, and definitely you know, a life-saving knife. I reckon that this is built to a standard that you could entrust your life with. Guys, we'll be back again soon, and it's great to see you, even though I can't see you, and we'll see you during the week. Take care.